and welcome back to our 10th phonics lesson. A little note before we get started today. My dad is home at the moment, so you might see him walking around in the background. Just ignore him. He's in the house. So, okay, let's start with a little bit of revision. Okay, we're going to be doing our phase 3. You guys know your phase 3 really well. So, we're going to skip a step. You're going to say it, and then we'll say it together. Okay? So you're going to say it, we'll say it together. Ready? Okay. What sound does this make? This makes 2 sounds, 1 grapheme. And sometimes it makes that longer sound, Your. Now this one, 3 sounds. Can you remember all 3? You're right, it makes ch as in choose, sh as in chef, and k as in school. Tricky that one. 2 sounds, 1 grapheme. What are the 2 sounds it makes? As in bath, as in bath, as in that. Air. Ear. Eye. 2 sounds, 1 grapheme. As in book, oo as in loot. Can you remember all 3? You're right. Y as in yogurt, I as in buy, and E as in very. Z. X. O. Z. J. W. Oi. R. E. A. V. Sh. Ng. Or. Fantastic job, guys. That was really well done. So I think you know your phase 3 pretty well. So we're going to move on to our teach. Today we are looking at these 2 graphemes. I wonder if you can remember which sound they both make. You're right, they both make the ow sound. Now, if we look at this one, this ow, we have learnt previously that this ow also makes the O sound. So it makes ow as in cow and O as in blow. But today we are focusing on it when it makes the ow sound. So today we are looking at it when it makes the ow sound. Okay? And our second one is a phase 5 ow. Ow as in house. And it's made up of the letters O-U. Whereas the other one is made up of the letters O-W. Okay? So we are going to be looking at our first word. I want you to decide which grapheme for ow you can see in this word. And then have a go at blending that word back together. You're right, it is this ow, as in O-U, and it blends together a little bit like this. Ow, t. So let's do that one more time together. Ow, t, out. The word out we use when we might be going outside or when we want somebody to get out. It generally means leaving somewhere. Okay, so out. Okay, I wonder if you could use that word in a sentence. Let's have a look at that next word. Which ow grapheme has it got this time? You're right, it's this ow. Have a go at blending that word together with this ow. Ow, ul, owl. Let's do that one more time together. Ow, ul, owl. Like the animal, owl, like the bird. Okay? I wonder if you could have a look at some pictures of different kinds of owls. Okay, let's have a go at this word. Can you spot which ow is in this word? You're right, it's this ow. Have a go at blending this word. Okay, let's have a go together. K, ul, ow, d, cloud. Let's do that one more time. K, ul, ow, d, cloud. Okay, like the clouds in the sky. Now this word's a little bit tricky because at the start of it, it's got two hard to hear sounds that we have to blend together. So we've got to make sure that when we're saying this word, we can hear the k and the ul, cloud. Okay, you've got to make sure you can hear those two sounds at the start. Okay, cloud. Let's have a look at our next word. Can you spot which grapheme is in this one? You're right. It's this ow. Let's have a go at blending that word. Are you ready? We'll blend it together. Ow, ul, howl. Let's do that one more time. Ow, ul, howl. I wonder if you can think of an animal that howls. When I think of an animal that howls, I think of a wolf. I wonder if you could howl. Okay. Can you spot which grapheme is in this word? You're right. It's this ow. Have a go at blending that word back together. Ready? Okay. Ow, d, found. Let's do that one more time. Ow, d, found. This word is also tricky, a little bit like cloud, because at the end of this word, you've got two hard to hear sounds. You've got d and you've got to make sure you can hear those when you're blending that word back together. Found, as in I found my black coat that I had lost. Found. Okay, have a go at this word. Which ow is in this word? You're right, it's this ow. Have a go at blending that word back together. Ready? Okay. K, ul, ow, clown. Let's do that one more time. K, ul, ow, clown. As in, a clown you might see at the circus. This word is just as tricky as cloud because again, it's got those two hard to hear sounds, k, ul, to blend at the start. Clown. Okay, we're coming up to our last two words before we move on to our challenge. Have a go at spotting which one it is, which grapheme is in this word. You're right, it's this one. Let's have a go. You have a go at blending it, and then we'll have a go together. Ready? I notice that at the end of this word, it's got a grapheme that makes two different sounds. We've got to try this word two different ways. So, s, ow, v, south. Does that sound right? I don't think it sounds right, so we know that we've got to try it again, but with the sound this time. S, ow, south. That sounds right. South, as in north, east, south, west. It's one of the points on a compass. Okay, let's have a go at this word. And I spot at the end of this word a grapheme we were doing last week. So, spot your grapheme and then let's have a go at blending this together. Okay, you're right. It's this ow. Ready to blend it together? Okay. F, ul, ow, flower. Let's try that one more time. F, ul, ow, flower. Now, when I read this word, I tried it with the sound at the end. But I'm going to just make sure that I'm right and say it with the sound, which is its second sound. F, ul, ow, flower. That doesn't sound right, so I know it was the sound at the end in flower. Okay, let's move on to our challenge. Okay, have a go at this first word. Which grapheme do you spot in this word? You're right, it's this ow. Have a go at blending this word. There is a tricky bit to this word. There's a challenge in this word. See if you can work out which bit's a little bit tricky. Are you ready? Have you spotted which bit is tricky? Okay. Ow, house air. Was that right? It didn't sound right to me. So we have to think about what other sounds that the letter E, makes. So we know that it sometimes also makes the E sound. So I'm going to try it that way. Ow, housey. That didn't sound right. So sometimes the letter E is silent at the end of a word. So we're going to try it when it's silent. Ow, house. Notice that I didn't make any sound for that last letter, and that's because in this word it is silent. House is the word. House, like the house that we live in. Okay, let's move on to this word. Have a go at blending this word. Which grapheme do you think is in it? You're right, it's this one. Have a go at blending this word. Did you figure out which bit's a little bit tricky? The tricky bit in this word is that end of that word again. And the reason why it's tricky is because it makes the word that much longer. So we're going to try ignoring the ing at the end of this word first. And we're going to read the rest of that word. So, ow, prowl, prowl. And then we're going to read that last bit. Ing, prowl, prowling. I wonder if you can prowl. A prowl is a very careful walk that an animal might do when they're prowling through the grass. And it's usually something they do when they're hunting and they're trying to be quiet. Okay. Have a look at this tricky word. Which ow is in this tricky word? Which ow is in this word? Which ow is in this word? You're right, it's this one. Now, the tricky bit in this word is that A is making an I sound. So that A is making an I sound. And I think that will help you to blend this word back together. Are you ready? Ow, t, A, mountain. Doesn't sound right to me. I'm going to try it when that A grapheme is making the I sound, like I said at the start. Let's see. Ow, t, I, mountain. Mountain. That sounds right. Like the mountain that you might walk up. Mountain. Okay, this is our last challenge word before we move on to our tricky words. Okay, so which ow grapheme is in this word? You're right. It's this ow. Okay, have a go at blending this word back together. Ready? Okay. Ow, powder. That doesn't sound right, does it? Sounds like a robot saying it. So let's try it then with that end grapheme making the sound. Ow, powder. That sounds right, like talcum powder, or when your mum might use powder to set her makeup. Okay, now we're on to our tricky words. These are our extra tricky words. Today we're looking at one we haven't looked at before. I wonder if you can have a go at reading this tricky word and guess which bit is tricky. And I'm going to give you a clue. Quite a bit of this word is tricky. Are you ready? Have you had a go? All right. This word is who. Let's say that again together. Who. And the tricky bit in this word is that the WH normally makes a W sound, but here it's making a H sound, and that we know that that letter O, the letter O, makes the O or O sound, but here it's making the OO sound. So it's OO, who. That's tricky. I wonder if you could use this word in a sentence. Yeah, you're right. Like, who took my shoe? Who. When we're using the word who, we're talking about somebody. Somebody that we might not know the name of. Okay, let's have a look at a tricky word that we have seen before. Can you remember which bit is the tricky bit? Okay. Do you remember which bits are the tricky bits? Good job. So the oo in this word can either make oo or So we're going to have to try it 2 different ways. But the tricky bit in this word is that the ed at the end makes a t sound. So it's ooked, looked. That doesn't sound right. So I know it's a sound. Looked. This word is looked. And it's tricky because that ed at the end is making the t sound. Okay, here's our final tricky word before we move on to our reply. This is a tricky word we've all seen before. We've all seen this tricky word before. Have a go at reading it and see if you can remember which bit is the tricky bit. You're right. The tricky bit in this word is the ERE. It's making the sound. It's making the sound. So when we read it like this. Were. As in, we were doing our phonics lesson. Were. Okay, so let's move on to our reply. Have a go at reading this sentence. Now, I feel like you're pretty good at your reading. So, I'm going to let you read it. And then once you feel that you've read the whole sentence, make sure you pause if you need to read it. I'm then just going to read the sentence to you and you can check if what you read was correct. Okay? Okay, so the sentence reads, the cow had found a brown rabbit that looked sad. It frowned. She asked if it was okay. He said there were no flowers left to munch. Okay, I wonder if you could have a chat maybe with your parent or adult or sibling in the room about what parts of the sentence that you want to go back and have another look at because you feel like you didn't read them correctly. Okay, don't worry if you didn't get the whole sentence correct. I believe in you and I believe that you've done a fabulous job. Okay, and we all sometimes read things incorrectly, even adults. So it's always good practice to go back and double check that you've got your sentence right. Okay, and talk about anything that you're unsure of in the sentence. So I'll read that sentence again. The cow had found a brown rabbit that looked sad. It frowned. She asked if it was okay. He said there were no flowers left to munch. Excellent job. Okay, so this is your chance. You can pause me, go back, talk about that sentence. Okay, so this is our final step. We're going to be doing some spelling today. Okay, we're going to actually be spelling a lot of tricky words today. So before we do the tricky words, we're going to have a go at spelling 4 words that have the graphemes for ow. Okay, so 4 words that have the grapheme for ow. Your first word I'd like you to have a go at spelling is out. I'll say that one more time. Out. Did you have a go? Excellent job. Are you ready to share? Out. Out. Did you spell it correctly? Excellent if you did. Don't worry if you didn't. Remember, we say every lesson that even adults get their spelling wrong sometimes. Have a go at practicing again underneath. The next word I'd like you to have a go at spelling is the word house. I'll say that one more time. House, as in the house we live in. Are you ready? Ow. S. Don't forget that though that letter E at the end is silent, it still needs to be there when we spell it. House. Did you spell it correctly? Excellent if you did. Don't worry if you didn't. Have another go at practicing underneath. Your next word I'd like you to have a go at spelling is the word now. That's the word now. As in, now I would like to do some spelling, or I would like to bake a cake now. Have you had a go at spelling that word? Are you ready to share? Ow, now. Did you spell it correctly? Well done if you did. Don't worry if you didn't. Have a go at spelling it again underneath. Okay, your next word I'd like you to have a go at spelling is how. Say that again. How. As in, how do you like your tea? How. Remember, you can pause me if you need a little bit longer. Are you ready to share? Ow. How. Okay, did you spell it correctly? Well done if you did. Don't worry if you didn't. Have another go at spelling it underneath. Okay, now we're going to have a go at spelling some tricky words. These are our phase 4 tricky words. So the first tricky word I would like you to have a go at spelling is the word said. Said. Are you ready to share? Okay. Said. S. D. Said. Remember the A here is making the E sound. So even though said, that's how we spell the word said. So even though it's making the E sound in the middle, it's got the letters A, I, said. Don't worry if you didn't spell it correctly. Have another go underneath, but if you did spell it correctly, well done. Okay, your next word is have. Have. As in, you have a pen or pencil. Ready to share? Have. But even though that is silent, it still needs to be there. It's spelled H-A-V-E. Have. Well done, you spelled it correctly. Don't worry if you didn't. Have another go at spelling it underneath. Your next word is like. As in, I like cake, or I like chocolate. Like. Are you ready? All. I like. The tricky bit in the word like is that it's got the split digraph I, so we need to remember that E on the end. Well done if you got it correct. Don't worry if you didn't. Have another go at spelling it underneath. Okay, your next tricky word is the word so. Have a go at spelling the word so. As in, so you like to go to the park. So. Are you ready to share? S-O. So. Okay? The tricky bit is that this letter O is making the O sound and not the O sound. So. Okay, if you spelled it correctly, well done. If you didn't, don't worry, have a go again underneath. Okay, your next word is do. Have a go at spelling the word do. As in, you do not like strawberry. Are you ready to share? Excellent. So, D-O, do. So here, again, we think it should be making either the sound O or the sound O, but here it's making the oo sound, do. Okay, so that's going to catch us out a little bit, do. Okay, your last two words are very similar, so I'm going to give them together. I would like you to have a go at spelling the word some and the word come. So I'll say that again. I'd like you to have a go at spelling the word some and the word come. And I've given them together because they have very similar spellings. Only the start of these words is different. Are you ready? Are you sure? These are our final two words. Have a go at spelling the words some and come. Okay, ready to share? So, they are spelt S-O-M-E, some, and C-O-M-E, come. Okay, notice that the end of the word is exactly the same. So it's got C-O-M-E, C-O-M-E. But the bit that changes is the start of the word, which is the S and the K. Some and come. Did you spell it correctly? Well done if you did. Don't worry if you didn't. Have a go at spelling it again underneath. And so ends our phonics lesson. So to finish, I'm going to say, well done everyone. Fantastic phonics lesson. And I hope that you will join me on Thursday for our final phonics lesson, ready for our final week where I will be doing some shorter lessons on things like mindfulness or PE or baking. Okay, so on Thursday it will be our final phonics lesson. I know, it feels a little bit sad, but that's okay. We're coming to the end of the term now, and for that final week before the summer holidays, I really want us to just do some very sort of short little activities. Okay, so I will see you again on Thursday, and a big goodbye.